Agape love, the self-giving, sacrificial love rooted in divine truth, is not simply a moral ideal. It is the soil in which faith takes root and becomes unshakable. True faith is not born in a vacuum, nor does it flourish on intellectual assent alone. Faith, at its deepest, is relational. And agape is the relationship in its most radiant form. Where agape thrives, faith endures. Where love is absent, faith withers in the shadow of fear and doubt. To understand how agape and faith interweave, we must also look at the very word faith. The English word faith comes from the Latin fides, meaning trust, belief, confidence, or loyalty. It shares roots with the word fiducia, or trust. In Greek, the word used in the New Testament is pistis, which similarly conveys belief that stems from trust, a relational certainty, rather than mere intellectual agreement. Faith is not only something we think, it is something we live. It is a way of orienting ourselves toward reality. It is saying, I believe that love is stronger than death. I trust that God is good, even when I don't understand. This kind of faith is only possible when nourished by agape, a love that reveals the character of God and invites us to respond with our whole lives. Concrete expressions of faith are woven through daily life. Faith is lived when a mother wakes before dawn to prepare breakfast for her children, not knowing how the day will unfold, but trusting that her care matters. Faith is lived when a man forgives a deep offense, believing that mercy heals more than vengeance. Faith is lived when a caregiver holds the hand of the dying, bearing witness to the dignity of every breath. These are not grand gestures, but they are holy. They are temporal expressions of eternal truths. Look no further than the woman of Proverbs 31, a figure so often misunderstood as a checklist of perfection. But what if her strength didn't come from striving alone? What if her faith, courage, and wisdom were born from how deeply she was loved? Her children rise up and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her. Proverbs 31:28. She was not an island. She was not silently suffering, endlessly pouring out without ever being poured into. Her household loved her. Her husband saw her. Her children blessed her. This agape environment, the giving and receiving of deep, unwavering love, nourished her soul and fortified her faith. The strength to buy fields, clothe her household, laugh at the future, and speak with wisdom did not come from obligation alone. It was the fruit of being seen and cherished. She bore much, but not alone. She trusted God with everything because she had seen what love could do. Agape creates space for faith to flourish. When a person knows they are loved with a love that does not retreat. When they fail, they begin to believe in something greater. They begin to believe they matter. And that belief is the gateway to deeper faith. Children raised in agape learn to trust more freely. Spouses held in agape rise more willingly. Friends who extend agape to one another build each other up in belief and perseverance. Love does not remove trials, but it makes faith possible through them. Even God reveals himself in the context of agape. God so loved the world that he gave his only son, John 3:16. The gift was not faith, the gift was love, and faith was the response. We are faithful not because we are forced to believe, but because love draws belief out of us. The woman of Proverbs 31 is strong, not because she is perfect, but because she is held. She is faithful, not because she is tireless, but because she is treasured. Let us then ask, how do we love others in such a way that they begin to believe again? How do we create households, friendships, and communities where agape flows freely and where faith can bloom as a result? To love with agape is to say, I will not let go of you when you doubt. I will not shame you when you stumble. I will stay when it would be easier to walk away. And in that staying, faith begins. Faith is often not built in fire and thunder. It is built in gentle hands, patient hearts, and enduring love. Agape makes belief possible. Agape holds the heart steady when reason fails. Agape, in its unrelenting tenderness, teaches us to trust that the God who loves like this must surely be real and must surely be good. So if you want to grow in faith, grow first in love. Love fiercely, patiently, tenderly. Be like the family of the Proverbs 31 woman. Build someone up so fully that they can't help but become strong in faith. This is how love becomes belief. This is how agape builds faith that cannot be shaken. Many saints throughout history have reflected this divine synergy between agape and faith. Take, for instance, Saint Monica, the mother of Saint Augustine. She prayed for years for her son's conversion, not with bitterness or scorn, but with enduring love. Her faith held fast because her love was fierce. It was agape that refused to abandon even when the outcome seemed hopeless. And that love gave rise to one of the Church's greatest theologians. Or consider Saint Zélie Martin, the mother of Saint Thérèse of Lisieux. Her letters reveal a woman deeply in love with her husband Louis, rooted in the ordinary rhythms of family life. Her faith was not a product of monastery walls, but of the daily acts of sacrificial love, raising children, caring for the sick, and honoring her vocation as a wife. Her agape love infused the air of their home, creating an environment where faith took deep and lasting root in each of her daughters. There is also Blessed Anna Maria Taigi, a wife and mother in a turbulent household. Her husband was difficult, even cruel at times. Yet her response was not enabling nor codependence. It was agape. She prayed, endured, and gently loved her family without becoming a martyr to their dysfunction. Her faith grew stronger because her love remained rooted in God, not in outcomes. Through her, her family changed, not by force, but by love's persistent witness. These women did not find faith in sterile doctrine alone. They lived it in kitchens, nurseries, sickbeds, and marketplaces. They bore burdens with grace because they were loved, or because they chose to love in defiance of unkindness. Their faith was resilient, not because life was easy, but because love was present. Faith that endures is not self-generated. It is a flame kindled by love. Be the spark, be the warmth, be the agape that births faith. And like the Proverbs 31 woman, you too will become a pillar of trust and a witness to the God who loved first, so we might believe forever.